Yes.
Hi, Attorney Kay Wilson.
Hi.
How do you do?
Kate,
I represent Kay.
Kay.
Kay Wilson. I represent Mr. Halbig.
Wolfgang Halbig, how are you?
Halbig, pleasure to
Hi,
meet you.
how are you?
Hi, Monte.
Tracy Brown. Nice to meet you.
Wolfgang Halbig.
Monte, yes, yes. Saw your appearance.
How are you,
Hi,
sir?
Monte. Alex.
Tracy Brown.
Okay. Alex. Give me a second. Okay, good afternoon. This is a consolidated hearing in the matters of FIC 2014-461 and 2014-823. Complaints by Wolfgang Halbig versus the First Selectman, Town of Newtown, the Chief, Police Department, Town of Newtown, Police Department, Town of Newtown, Chair, Board of Education, Newtown Public Schools, and the Newtown Public Schools. My name is Matthew Streeter. I'm a commissioner and have been designated as the hearing officer in this matter. With me today is Attorney Tracy Brown, who is counsel to the Commission and will be assisting me here today. Attorney Brown can answer procedural questions should you have any. I will note for the time that it's 2:04 p.m. and today's date is April 24th, 2015. Our hearing is scheduled for an hour and a half. Will the parties identify themselves for the record, please?
Good afternoon, Commissioner Streeter. My name is Attorney L.K. Wilson. I represent Wolfgang Halbig, the complainant in this appeal.
Okay.
My name is Wolfgang Halbig, and I'm a national school safety consultant out of Orlando, Florida.
You're the complainant.
I'm the complainant.
Good afternoon, Monte Frank with Cohen and Wolf. With me, Alex Kopp with Cohen and Wolf, and we represent the respondents.
Okay. Based on what transpires here today, we will prepare a hearing officer's report, which will contain suggested findings of fact and conclusions of law. All parties will get a copy of the reports in the mail, along with a date and time when the full commission will consider the report. The commission can adopt the report, reject it, modify it in any way, or reopen the hearing at the time of its deliberations. You will be invited to speak to the commission on that day if you so choose. It is not required that you appear, but it is suggested since, as I've said, the commission can change the report. If you decide to speak to the commission, you will be limited to 10 minutes of legal argument per side, exclusive of questions of the commissioners. You cannot present any new facts to the commission at that time. All facts need to get into the record today. We will follow the Uniform Administrative Procedure Act. The complainant will go first, present all relevant testimony subject to cross-examination and redirect if necessary. The complainant should present all relevant documents as well. Once the complainant is finished with his witnesses, it is the respondent's turn, who of course will follow the same procedure. Do you understand the procedure I've described?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I'll swear in witnesses. Anybody that will be testifying today, if they can stand. Only one witness today? Would you be calling any?
I may call witnesses.
Okay, I'll swear them in at the time.
Thank you.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth upon the pain of perjury?
I
At the
do.
hearing in this matter?
I do.
Okay, let the record show that the complainant took the oath.
Where's our witness?
Okay, this time, if the complainant wants to begin, if there are any documents that you would like to submit.
There are plenty of documents, Commissioner. As a preliminary matter, I would ask that the Commissioner sequester the witnesses so that they not hear cross-testimony and be influenced by the testimony of other witnesses. Is that permissible?
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have the authority to do that. This is an open hearing, so everything that will be talked about today, we're going to do in open session.
Thank you, Commissioner. And the second thing is that I had subpoenaed several witnesses. Kathy Gombos, who's the principal of Chalk Hill Middle School. Kevin Anzalotti, who's the head custodian of Chalk Hill Middle School. And Keith Alexander, who is the Newtown Board of Education Chair. And I've been made to understand from Attorney Frank, representing the town, that these witnesses have been released by Attorney Frank, and I have duly authorized subpoenas here as a commissioner of the Superior Court that were served, and I have proof of process. I expected those witnesses to appear today, so I think that's a preliminary issue that we may want to treat. Here's the original in 3 copies for Your Honor.
Okay. If you can say that, please.
On behalf of the hearing officer, it is, the commission does not have the authority to enforce subpoenas that you have issued as a commissioner of the court. Those subpoenas, if you require them to be enforced, must be handled by the judicial district in which the subpoenas are filed.
Okay. Let me call Mr. Halbig as my first witness. We're going to go through what you did not get.
Do I?
We're going to talk about what you did not get.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Halbig, is it true that you issued a series, or had your counsel, your former counsel, Attorney Spinella, issue a series of Freedom of Information requests pursuant to the FOIA Act on October 29, 2014, directed to Chief of Police Michael Kehoe, the Newtown School Board Chair Debbie Lideline, and excuse me, last one was directed to, well, did you issue those Freedom of Information Act requests on October 29, 2014 through your attorney to Chief Michael Kehoe?
I did.
Okay.
Can you give me
And
that
did
date
you,
again, please?
October 29, 2014? And did you also have your attorney, your former counsel, Mr. Spinella, issue to First Selectman Patricia Yodra on October 29, 2014, a FOIA request as well?
I did.
Are you referring to the FOIA requests which are the subject of today's hearing?
Yes, I am.
All right, there are no FOIA requests dated October 29, 2014.
That is not correct. I believe that these are the subject of file matter FIC 2014-823, and these are letters which I received faxed from or emailed from the clerk of the FIC, the Freedom of Information Commission, Linda Fasciano.
Are you referring to the second appeal?
I'm referring to 2014-823.
I understand, thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
So, Your Honor, you may be looking at,
Well, right now, I think these are, we only have the original complaint that these have been part.
She's doing 823.
Okay.
Not 461.
Okay. But we still need those put into the record.
they're a part of the record.
They still need to be marked as exhibits.
Yeah, because right now, the only thing that we have on the record is the actual letter to the commission. So even though they were attached as, they're not listed as exhibits, so we would need to put those in as
They are, I understand, Commissioner, that this is the file that Linda Fasciano sent to me that Your Honor, I
Yes.
believe, does have.
Yes, but what is in that file is not necessarily on the record yet. We can
Okay.
put that into the record.
Okay, so, believing that that is already in the record as a matter of being a part of the file, I did not make copies of that, but I can give Your Honor a copy of that. And I believe Attorney Frank,
You can use mine.
okay.
Do you have a copy of?
I do.
Do you have any objection to being put to the record?
I do not.
Okay. So, may I continue, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Halbig, my understanding is on October 29, 2014, when you issued these Freedom of Information requests directed to the various town officials, First Selectman Leodra and
Lodra.
Lodra, thank you. Debbie Lideline and Michael Kehoe, the Chief of Police, that you were requesting maintenance work orders signed by the principal or designee showing the date of completion of the repairs, together with timestamps showing the job completion. Is that correct?
That's
The
correct.
documents speak for themselves.
Okay. And did you ever receive copies of the signed work orders signed by the principal or designee showing the date of completion of the repairs, together with the timestamps showing the job completion?
I have not.
Okay. Did you receive any work orders? at all from the town?
I received work orders yesterday at a meeting with Monte Frank here, in which he supplied us work orders.
Okay. I'm going to hand, if I may, hand the original to you, Commissioner, and a
He'll
copy
get a
to
copy.
opposing counsel.
Go ahead,
And-
Jeff. You want to speak out and just do it, exhibit?
I haven't seen him yet.
He gave them to us. He gave them to us.
Mr. Halbig, were there these
Excuse me.
the,
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let's catch up.
These appear to be a portion of what was made available to Mr. Halbig a long time ago, which we finally reviewed yesterday, concerning work order that. I guess I'd like to understand what the offer is of these documents, because they are only a portion of what we produced in compliance with the request.
further testimony, Your Honor?
You just want to say?
Well, they are representative of the work orders that we received, or that Mr. Halbig and I reviewed yesterday. As the Commissioner will see when he looks at them, if they're entered, none of them are signed. I think we can stipulate to that. And the request specifically asks for signed work orders, and that is the question, whether there has been compliance with these are not exempt, they are non-privileged, they are public records. I don't think there's been any question about that, and nor has any argument in that realm been offered.
Does that answer your question? Whether you think
I do not have an objection to these documents coming in as a portion of what was produced in compliance with the FOIA request. I
Do you
do
have
have an objection to the characterization, because as we informed counsel, the documents that they seek with a sign-off by the principal or designee don't exist.
So as far as these, do you have a copy of what you had turned over to them?
I do. I brought everything that we turned over to them.
So do you want this to be put on the record, or would you rather have a more full representation of what you turned over, entered into the record?
For purposes of her examination, she can do what
Okay.
she wants. I think the record will show that we fully comply with the FOIA request.
Okay, why don't we put this on the record?
But for purposes of identifying that this is just a portion of what was, they're only putting in a portion of what was turned over.
Okay.
I have the original and 2 copies for the Commissioner,
Okay.
and I'll hand them to Attorney Tracy Brown.
Okay, before you continue, let's just catch up on which exhibits we now have.
So this is going to be marked as complainants exhibit B.
Complainants, pardon me, Attorney
B.
Brown? B.
So 13 pages?
Approximately, yes, ma'am.
It's the same thing. I'm sorry to do this to you. We appreciate your preparation, but we only need 1 copy, so we're going to give these back to you.
Okay, very good.
If you have an extra, I would take it. Thank
Here you go, Attorney Frank.
All right, Attorney, ready to proceed?
Thank you. All right. So, Mr. Halbig, did you have an opportunity to review what's been marked as complainants B?
Since we only received them yesterday for the first time, which I've requested these for over a year, and yesterday was the first time that I was allowed to see these documents. And there should have been no reason for those documents to have been withheld from me. I reviewed the documents since I got them yesterday. Yes, I have.
Okay. And looking at complainants Exhibit B, Mr. Halbig, do you see any signature by any of the principal, assistant principal, or designee showing the date of completion of the repairs?
No, and if you look at the document at the bottom, it says the technician's name. It should be signed, dated, and
Jackson,
I'm just reading what the document says.
document speaks for itself.
Yeah, were they signed or not?
They have not signed it, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Halbig, did you also request, by virtue of the FOIA requests dated October 29, 2014, copies of all email correspondence from the school principal, Dawn Hochsprung, and her assistant, dating
Yep.
from May 1st, 2012 to December 13th of 2012, to the following district departments: Human Resources, Finance Department, Maintenance Department, Staff Development, Assistant School Principal, Assistant School Superintendent, School Superintendent, Food Services Provider, School District Transportation Provider, and Curriculum Department?
Yes, I did.
Did you ever receive any copies of any emails from School Principal Dawn Hochsprung and/or her assistant school principal for that time period?
Not as of this date.
Okay. Commissioner, I'm turning my attention now to file FIC 2014-461. And this is basically the same drill as before.
You'd like these put on the record?
I would like the certified, not certified, pardon me, the FOIA requests that accompany the appeal for FIC 2014-461, dated April 25th, 2014, marked as complainants
A.
Exhibit A.
Yes.
Thank you, Attorney Brown.
That's right. Further? Right.
All right, thank you, Commissioner, thank you, Attorney Brown. All right, Mr. Halbig, in this request dated April 25th, 2014, which have been now marked as Complainants Exhibit A, did you request information regarding the Sandy Hook Elementary School security system, including the name and address of the contractor who installed the security system in operation at the school before December 14th, 2012?
Yes, I did.
Did you ever receive any of that information from the town or the school board?
I received it from my attorney.
And what did you receive?
I received the document, a purchase order that was generated in the year 2007, 2008, showing the installation of a security system at Sandy Hook Elementary School, and that's not what I was looking for.
And was there any reason you had a belief that there was a newer security system that was at the school?
Yes, ma'am. The national news media, all major channels, carried the story the next day of the incident.
Hearsay.
Would you provide the document?
If you're,
I'm sorry.
If you're referring to a newscast, newscasts are hearsay. You would actually need to help.
It's published.
It doesn't matter if it's published in the paper or if it's on a TV station. What's in the public media is not credible information.
Okay, then the
The
news,
question was his state of mind and what led him to believe it, so
Yes.
it's not necessarily the truth of the matter asserted, it's what made him believe that there was such a thing.
And I'll also note as a further objection that request 1A is not a request for a document.
copy of the vendor, member.
Well, further on, there is on 1C, in that same section of the exhibit, which has been marked as Complainants A,
Says
dated
copy.
April 25th, 2014. It says in C4, copy of the contract for installation of the security system in operation at the Sandy Hook Elementary School before December 14th, 2012.
And that was provided.
Well, Mr. Halbig, did you get a copy of the contract for installation of the security system in operation at the Sandy Hook Elementary School before December 14, 2012?
I did not get a copy of the brand-new security system that was installed based on,
Objection. It assumes facts that are not in evidence.
Okay, let's put it in evidence then.
yeah, let's put it in evidence.
Yeah, she asked the question if he had gotten any, his answer was no, he did not receive it.
The question assumes that there was a, quote, new security system.
And
And that fact has not been established.
it's true, so far we're only going off,
And it's not part of what was asked.
so far we're only going off of the 2008 installation. You'll have an opportunity.
Understood.
You have the
to provide that
evidence?
testimony.
I can't find it. I think I have it
There it is, right there.
Okay. First pass it to attorney,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This is your copy.
Here's two,
This is for me.
and not yet.
Is there any objection to?
There is. I don't know what it is. Your speech, you say.
What is it you're attempting to put it in?
Well, it is a republication of a letter from, ostensibly from Mrs. Hochsprung, who is a school principal, in which she indicated that there was the district would be implementing a security system as part of their ongoing efforts to ensure student safety. The letter goes on to outline the procedure, and the letter was dated prior to December 14, 2012. I believe it was in the fall of 2012.
You're saying this is a letter you're putting in?
Well, it's a republished copy of the letter.
When we say published, what are we talking about?
It is on Tribune Digital and the Current.
So it's a news story,
Yes.
and your objection is that this is hearsay?
It is. And it also doesn't appear to be authentic.
Okay, we're gonna uphold the objection.
Okay.
Get the news story. Just put the news story in, even if he objects.
All right.
If you want to give that back to them.
This is your copy.
Okay.
Remember, how would the news media got that information?
No, we don't have to look at it. Okay. So I'm going to direct your attention to an unmarked exhibit, Mr. Halbig.
Wait, hold on.
Stand objection. It appears to be a
So you're not
CNN
looking,
story.
you're not looking to put this into the record?
Not yet.
You may proceed.
Okay. Mr. Halbig, are you looking at what I've handed to you, which is an unmarked exhibit at this time?
Yes, I
Did you
did.
read this?
Yes, I did.
And did it in any way give you or any information or belief regarding the security system?
Well, as I introduced myself, I'm a national school safety consultant, and this,
The response is not, the answer is not responsive.
We don't have a
I'm
jury,
gonna
this
have
isn't
an
a court of
objection. I'm
law.
going to have an objection to this, so
Okay, She asked a question, you're giving us background on you. I think the question was relating to the document.
Well, it gave me concerns because as of that, it gave me concerns because it said that she installed a brand-new security system.
Hearsay.
Sustain.
Figures.
So, okay, well, then, is it that opposing counsel is denying that there was any security system installed at Sandy Hook before December 14th, 2012?
I'm not a witness.
I was just about to say, this is your
Your
witness.
request.
Okay.
For some reason, you're under the assumption that we did not supply documents, and we complied entirely with the document request. To the extent that there are documents relating to the security system, you have them.
Okay, Mr. Halbig, we'll return to you. Mr. Halbig, in part of your request, which was also dated, and we're talking about FIC complaint number 2014-461, and what's been marked as complainant's Exhibit A. On point number 2 in that FOIA request, did you ask for a copy of the consent agenda and all supporting documents relating to a consent agenda for the Newtown School Board meeting of January 23rd,
I did.
2013?
I did.
Did you receive the supporting documents relating to that consent agenda?
I did not.
What would make you believe that there were any additional documents that you should have received?
Because on that board meeting, it should have shown a field trip for the Sandy Hook Elementary School Choir going to the New Orleans Super Bowl, which they were performing on February the 3rd, 2013.
Okay, and did you see any such items marked in the agenda or in the consent agenda for the Newtown School Board meeting of January 23rd, 2013?
No, I did not.
Okay. I'm going to direct your attention to the same FOIA request, which is dated April 25th, 2014. Item 3, did you ask the Newtown Police Department to provide copies of the Newtown dispatcher call log sheets for December 14, 2012 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
I did.
And did you also ask for copies of all communications for December 14, 2012 from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. between the Newtown Police Department and the Connecticut State Police Trooper 1 helicopter?
I did.
Did you receive those?
No, I did not.
Okay. And referring to item 4 on that same FOIA request, did you also ask for the Newtown Police Department for copies of the dash cam video for Newtown Police Lieutenant Cinco for December 14, 2012 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
I did.
Did you receive that?
I got to view it for the first time yesterday, but it was not time-stamped, and it did not have the actual running time, which I've never seen before as a former Florida State Trooper, that they operate cameras like that.
Did you also request in that same FOIA request a copy of the dash cam video for Newtown Police Officer Figola for December 14, 2012 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
I did.
Did you receive that?
They said the document doesn't exist.
Okay.
No, just leave that alone. Yes, I want that one.
Okay. All right, now, Mr. Halbig, directing your attention to the same FOIA request dated April 25th, 2014, point subparagraph 6. Did you ask for the town to provide the name and contact information of the environmental biohazardous waste removal company contracted by the town of Newtown or subdivision to conduct sanitation and cleanup on or after December 14, 2012 at the Sandy Hook Elementary School premises?
I made that request directly to the Newtown School Board because they would have been responsible for hiring that company to sanitize and remove all of the biohazards at the Sandy Hook Elementary School.
Did you also ask for a copy of a contract in connection with that request?
I did.
Did you ever receive that?
Not of this date.
Okay. Now, directing your attention to the same FOIA request dated April 25th, 2014, subparagraph 8. Did you request a copy of the sign-in log referred to on the traffic sign posted outside the Newtown Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14th, 2012?
I did. I requested that to the police chief because he's in charge of the
Just answer the question.
I did not.
You did not receive that?
I did not receive that request.
Okay. Oh, you want to go into
Yeah,
that?
oh yeah, I do. That's
Okay.
very important.
Okay. Directing your attention to that same FOIA request, Mr. Halbig, dated April 25th, 2014, which is now complainant's Exhibit A. Paragraph 7, you requested, it appears you requested the identity of the person who ordered the porta potties, which were referred to, which were ordered on December 14th, 2012, and a copy of the bill for installation for use of the porta potties referred to and ordered for use on December 14th, 2012. Did you ever receive that?
Not as of today.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all I think we need. You're talking-
That's good. Yeah, I'm finished.
Your Honor, Attorney Brown, now would like to, I'm going to stop the opposing counsel's opportunity to cross-examine Mr. Halbig.
Okay. Do you have any questions for
I
the
have a couple
complainant?
questions. Mr. Halbig, before yesterday, did you at any time inspect documents in the town of Newtown?
I have not.
Before yesterday, did you make any effort to go to the police department to review the dash cam videos that you referred to in your testimony?
I did not.
With respect to your document requests, you received responses from the town as to all those requests, didn't you?
No.
In other words, there were certain requests where you were informed that documents do not exist. Do you agree with that?
I was informed by you that the town is not in possession of those documents that I requested. I didn't request it from the town.
You've answered my question.
I know, but
There are certain documents where you were informed by the town that those documents either are not in the possession control of the town or they do not simply exist. Is that
I
correct?
didn't ask the town for the documents. Simple answer.
Who did you ask for the documents?
The school board. They're the custodian of records.
Let me rephrase the question.
Go ahead.
Isn't it a fact, sir, that in response to your requests to the school board, you were informed that certain documents either are not in their possession or control or simply do not exist?
Not from the school board, but from you and the town.
Okay. And I represent the school board. You agree with
Well,
that?
you didn't write that in the letter. You said the town. Remember, that's the stuff that he said.
know. I think we have it right
That's
there.
what he's gonna go.
I don't let him.
Can I get a copy?
Just show him. Put this in the record.
Can I get a copy? Nope. That's what, can I read it before he goes after me?
Hold on, let me state that.
I've been offered.
Okay, it's up to you. You're choosing for this, for your cross. It's up to you.
I'd like to offer it as an exhibit.
Do you have any objection to this being?
Absolutely not.
This would be marked as Respondent's Exhibit 1. Counsel, is this for both documents or?
It is. No, this is for the earlier one, which is...
461?
461, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, that's respondents 1.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Halbig, I'm showing you what's been marked as Respondents Exhibit 1, which is a letter from me to your attorneys, Paul Spinella, correct?
That's correct.
And it's dated June 9th, 2014.
That's correct.
All right, and I'm just going to read the first. Actually, why don't you read the first sentence, please?
No, you go ahead.
No, I'd like you to.
Do I have to read?
He asked you a question. If you can't read it, just let us know.
Okay. The name and address of the contractor who installed the security...
No, the first sentence. This firm represents...
Oh, this firm represents the Newtown Police Department, Board of Education, and First Selectman, collectively referred to herein, the town, in connection with the request dated April 25th, 2014, purportedly under the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act for, on behalf of your client, Wolfgang Halbig, you submitted 3 substantially identical requests, the first addressed to the First Selectman, second addressed to the Board, and the last addressed to the Newtown Police Department. All 3 town agencies received the request on April 28th, 2014.
Go ahead. Next sentence.
The town responds to your request as follows.
Okay, and you agree then that the town is defined as the Newtown Police Department, the Board of Ed, and the First Selectman. That's the first sentence, right?
Well, I would disagree.
It says, sir, the firm represents the Newtown Police Department, Board of Education, and First Selectman, collectively referred to herein as the town. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, but that's what, you're doing it to control the documents. I'm going to the
Did I read that
custodial of
correctly?
records.
Did I read that correctly?
I read it, but I'm
Did I read
asking
that?
the school
Please
board.
answer my question. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I direct your attention then to number 7 as an example. So what you're requesting here are porta potties ordered from Chatfield Porta Potties of Southbury, Connecticut on December 14th, 2012, which is the day of the
Incident,
shooting at the same school, right?
Correct?
All right, so you're asking for porta potties, records of porta potties ordered on that date, is that right?
That's correct.
All right. And the town responded to you that does not have responsive documents.
Well, that can't be true.
Okay, but that's how the town responded.
Well, that's great, but I'm not,
Please answer my question. Is that how the town responded?
that's how you responded.
And you're here today because you just don't believe it, is that right?
I'm not getting it
Please
from the
answer my
right
question.
end. I don't believe it.
Okay. And if I turn to the last one, number 8, you testified that you did not receive a copy of the sign-on log referred to on a traffic sign posted outside the Newtown Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14, 2012, right? And the town responded that it does not have that document, right? Isn't that what it
Right,
says?
but you have nothing. You don't have any documents. I mean,
Isn't that what, sir, answer my question. Isn't that what it says? That the town does not have responsive documents?
Absolutely, but you have documents from
And
nobody.
you just don't believe that, correct?
I don't believe you. I don't trust you.
We don't blame you, Wolfgang. We don't blame you.
If I hear,
Don't trust him.
Excuse me,
Don't do this, guys.
there can be no such disruption during this hearing. If that does occur again, the commissioner has the authority to close the hearing. Thank you.
so Mr. Halbig, you're here today because you do not believe that the town has porta potty records or responses in connection with the sign-in sheet. Is that right?
No, I believe the
Is that-
school
is that-
board,
answer my
I
question,
believe
please.
the school, I want this on the I believe the school board has the records. They have school board policies. They're required to show the expenditure, taxpayer dollars.
You have,
Those,
you haven't.
that is outside of FOI, what their requirements are. So let's try and stay focused on the FOI.
I agree, but I'm looking for custodian of records. The town is not the custodian of records, even though he writes that in there.
Do you have any reason to believe that I was not responding on behalf of the Board of Education, the town of Newtown, and the Newtown Police Department?
I do not believe.
All right. Turning your attention to the next appeal, which is,
823.
yes, sir. Specifically in connection with copies of all emails to and from school principal Dawn Hochsprung and her assistant school principal. You see that?
Absolutely.
And there was an objection that was raised by the town in connection with that.
With every other question, yes.
And did you ever respond to that objection?
I did not. My attorney didn't respond to the objection.
Did you or your attorney respond to that objection?
He did not respond to the objection, even though I told him to respond. Obviously, he didn't follow my directions. That's why I fired him.
But neither you nor your attorney ever responded to that objection, correct?
Absolutely.
Do you know whether or not the Sandy Hook School had an assistant school principal during the period of your request?
I don't know. When you call, they don't tell you who it was.
Do you know whether or not the Sandy Hook School had an assistant school principal?
When I call, they don't tell me that. I don't know whether they had one or not.
You're asking for documents from an assistant school principal without knowledge of whether one existed at the school or not. Is that
Well,
right?
there was one identified. The lady who was shot supposedly was the assistant principal.
And did your understanding that that was her title?
That's what they said in the news report.
Objection to that on hearsay grounds.
Sustained.
Well, Commissioner, may I address that?
Go ahead.
I didn't really get a chance to, Mr. Halbig is testifying regarding his understanding of events as they unfolded. And I think it should not be sustained because I think that he ought to be able to testify as to what he believed and thought at the time. At issue here is the sincerity and appropriateness of Mr. Halbig's requests. His train of thought regarding this is very much at issue, so I respectfully request that you allow him to continue with that testimony and allow that to remain on the record.
Okay. I just wanted, but this is the same, you know, he's already laid a lot of different other beliefs that he has, especially concerned, you know, based on some of the documents that are turned in. So I mean, I'll give you some latitude, but I don't know if that's. I have to give it the weight that it's due. His beliefs don't hold any credibility if there's no witness to substantiate. I'll give you that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'll give you the opportunity, but his beliefs don't carry any weight as far as whether or not, you know, just because he believes that there's a principle or not. Unless you have an objection, we'll continue this. But I can only give it the
Well,
weight.
I just don't want
I
the
can only give it the
testimony
weight it
stricken.
I'll move on.
deserves.
Well,
I'll move
if
on.
Your Honor will give it the weight it deserves, according to your discretion, that is a better outcome than simply sustaining the objection and not allowing it to be on the
The
record.
fact of the matter is that he's relying on newspaper articles.
I addressed my comments to the Commissioner and until I'm,
Which is classic hearsay.
Okay. I'll allow, if you want to keep that line of questioning.
I'll move on, it's okay. Directing your attention to the first request, copies of all maintenance work orders submitted by the school principal or designee of the school district for any repairs, new caution doors, or painting from July 1, 2012 through December 13, 2012. I believe you testified that you reviewed those documents yesterday.
I did yesterday for the first time after a year of requests.
All right, and when were those documents first made available to you?
Yesterday.
All right, isn't it a fact that they were made available to you more than 6 months ago?
Absolutely not.
I'd like to offer this, please, as respondents to,
Do they have objection to this piece?
I haven't seen it yet. Let me just, if I may, Commissioner.
I know of it.
I mean, it did, I've seen this. I don't think there's a proper objection.
Let's see, it goes back to this, yep. It goes back to this. Okay, go ahead. What's the question?
Well, so
you'll accept that?
we'll
I'll accept,
accept
yeah,
it. We've
absolutely.
seen it before, Your Honor.
So that'll be marked as respondents exhibits here.
full exhibit?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Halbig, I'm directing your attention to item number 1. And the response. Okay, so item number 1 is your request for maintenance work orders that are the subject of your appeal, correct?
That's true?
All right. And this is a letter from me to your attorney dated September 3rd, 2014.
That's true?
Can you read the response to item 1, please, out loud for the record?
The firm represents Newtown Police
No, the
Department.
response to item number 1.
Oh,
I
non-privileged
think
and non-exempt documents will be produced once we receive a check made payable to the town of Newtown in the amount of $22.50, 50 cents per page as provided under FOIA.
Did you ever provide a check to the town of Newtown in the amount of $22.50?
I was not going to.
Did you ever provide a check?
I was not going
Please answer my
to.
question.
No, I did not.
All right. Did you ever make arrangements before yesterday to come view the documents at Town Hall?
I made arrangements through my attorney a long time ago to come and inspect. Matter of fact, on May the 6th, I was scheduled to come and inspect the records at the Newtown School Board offices.
With respect to this document, the maintenance work orders, did you ever make arrangements to come view the documents that are the subject of your request prior to yesterday?
Yes, on May the 6th.
All right. Do you have any documents to support that?
Yes, I do. Be glad to provide it to, I do have it.
Yep.
May 6, 2015.
May 6, 2014, when I appeared before the school board, requesting the release of documents which they refused.
In response to the September 3rd, 2014 letter that's before you, and yesterday, that time period specifically, did you make any arrangements to come to town to inspect the documents or provide a check for $22.50, in which case the documents would have been provided to you?
No.
And specifically as to, turning to item number 2, copies of all emails that we referred to previously. The response with the objection is the objection that you testified to earlier your attorney never responded to, correct?
Come again?
The objection to item number 2, that's the objection that you testified to earlier today, your attorney never responded to.
No, you've never responded.
Let me break this up. This letter is dated September 3rd, 2014, correct?
That's correct.
All right. In response to item number 2, there is an objection. Do you see that?
Yeah, and that's, yep.
Okay. And neither you nor your attorney ever responded to that objection.
But that's why it's on appeal.
before taking the appeal, you never responded to that objection.
That's why it's on appeal, because you never responded.
Before, just please answer my question. Before taking the appeal, you never responded to that objection.
No, because we never got answers from you.
Please answer my question, yes or no.
No.
Did you respond
No.
to the objection prior to taking the appeal?
My attorney never responded.
And after taking the appeal, have you ever addressed this objection?
You need to ask my, I don't know, my attorney handled it.
Are you aware of your attorney ever addressing that objection,
He filed an appeal.
other than the appeal?
No.
Nothing further.
May I? Commissioner. Mr. Halbig, how did you make arrangements to view the documents? You were just testifying to the work orders that were the subject of a FOIA request. I believe you testified that on May 6, 2014, you had tried to schedule an opportunity to view those documents. Through what means of communication did you try to schedule that?
Excuse me. I think you need to be a lot more specific about that, because the work orders that we're referring to weren't requested until after May 2014.
Okay, then let me switch gears. Where's the document? Did you just put it over there? Okay. So I'm referring now to Respondent's Exhibit 2. Mr. Halbig, I'm going to direct your attention to the response under subsection 1 of that letter dated September 3rd, 2014, in which it indicated that non-privileged and non-exempt documents would be produced once they received a check for $22.50. Would that be, what, 45 pages?
Absolutely, and it would not answer.
Okay.
Right.
Now, so that's 45 pages we're talking about. Now, when you went to view those documents yesterday, were there 45 pages?
There were way over 45 pages.
Okay. How many pages do you think there were, Mr. Halbig?
Over 100.
And what was the impetus for you to want to inspect those rather than receive cold copies?
Because the last time they sent me documents, there were documents that were not relevant to my request, and I had to pay for them. Or through my attorney's office, which I found out through Mr. Frank that he never paid him for those records. And you send those records without me even paying them, without paying you. I can't believe you did that. That violates the FOIA laws. You send me documents and you complain that I didn't pay you. How's that even possible?
Okay, so Mr. Halbig, okay, okay, good. Now, Mr. Halbig, why do you believe that the documents that are referred to in FIC case 14461 concerning porta potties ordered from Chatfield Porta Potties of Southbury, Connecticut, on or before December 14, 2012, why do you think that those copies of the bill for installation exist?
Because those porta potties were delivered to the school board property, and you can see them being staged on school board property. Therefore, the director of facility has to have knowledge, or he had to order those porta potties since it's on their property. One thing, school board don't allow other things come on their property unless they order it or they're in control of it.
Okay.
Counsel,
Yes.
could you please, if you could clarify for the record, the porta potties that were delivered onto the property, they were delivered on the date of the incident?
Yes, ma'am. Within 3 hours of the incident.
Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Brown. Okay. I have no further questions for Mr. Halbig.
Do you have any other witnesses?
I have just one.
Oh, you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I do, just real quickly. Mr. Halbig, I believe you testified that it's your understanding that your attorney never provided money for the prior documents that you received. Is that correct?
Well, I think, if I remember correctly, I got a message from you saying that I never paid for documents that you prepared and
You
mailed.
intruded that your attorney sent a check for $19, and once that check was received, your attorney received a package of documents.
I don't know. My attorney has $9,000 to take care of all this, and I shouldn't have got a memo from you saying I didn't pay my bill.
All right. I'd like
You
to,
want to clarify what you told me?
I'll clarify it. It's Attorney Spinella, not Attorney Wilson.
No, but he sent an email after that date saying that I didn't pay for the records. I mean, that's for something completely different.
Well, the preliminary question is whether we
Well,
object or not.
he paid for one.
Wait a minute, Wolfgang, don't testify yet, don't testify yet. The preliminary issue before you, for us, you and I, is this objectionable? I've seen this letter in the file. There's nothing to indicate to me that this is not a part of the file that I got from Spinella. In other words, I'm not sure if there's any grounds for objecting to this. You can explain it, but I don't think we can object to it. So,
That's why I answer yes or no.
well, we're not going to object to this.
No, we don't object to it, no.
No, don't hand it back, that's ours.
All right, so respondents 3?
Yes.
Yes.
May I proceed? Yes. Thank you. Mr. Halbig, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 3, Response to Exhibit 3, which is a June 13th letter from your attorney, Paul Spinella, to me. Do you have that in front of you?
Yes, I do.
All right, and it says, in response to your letter, June 9, 2014, I enclose our check for $19. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any reason to believe that the check for $19 was not enclosed with this letter?
No, I believe you've got it.
Okay. And in
But it doesn't
response
say
to that
$22.50.
payment, you received documents, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Attorney Wilson. I'd like to offer this, please, as response to the report.
We could have saved some paper.
Yes, you
We
could.
brought the same thing.
Let me see, it's non
Objections.
Just carefully, look, just real quick to make sure it's roughly the same. Essentially, it's the same package we have, Commissioner, we don't object.
All right, so we're dealing now with,
So what is this that we have now? The
this is
response?
461, first appeal.
Can you respond to this 4?
Respondent 4, the full exhibit. And in this letter to your lawyer, it states the responsive documents are enclosed. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
And there is a stack of documents attached, right?
Which are not relevant to what I was asking for. You send me documents had no
There's a stack of
relevance.
documents
Oh,
attached.
absolutely. You send me
No.
documents.
So if we turn the page to the third page, and following page, there are documents related to the security system, isn't that right?
I stated that earlier. I did get documents to the security system.
And on the next page is a revised agenda for January 23rd, 2013, right?
23rd?
January 23rd, 2013.
Right, but I got also one for January 24th, which is the same date.
Please answer my question. There's a revised agenda that's attached for January.
Yes, I cut it, correct.
And that's what you asked for, isn't it?
Nope, I asked for consent agenda attachments that explain what's on the agenda. I mean, on the school board consent agenda.
All right.
School board has a consent agenda,
I'm with
and
you.
every board member gets attachments that explains what's on the agenda, what the issue is. That's what I wanted to see, which you did not provide.
All right. And if you flip the page,
Go
the
ahead.
next page,
Yeah, go ahead.
and the next page,
Go ahead.
and you keep going through the stack, those are all attachments to the January 23rd agenda, aren't they?
No, they're for January 8th.
Those are minutes from the January meeting that was attached to the consent agenda.
I don't see that.
See that?
Isn't it?
Nope.
I think that
Not to my understanding.
If you look at the consent agenda, item 1, there are 3 bullet points. Do you see that?
Let me see that one under.
Stay with Mr. Halbig.
I got you. I'm here
First
with
bullet
you.
point says item number 1, consent agenda. You see that? Sir, yes or no?
The consent agenda says minutes of December 17th. It says Newtown High School
Stop you
reading.
there. Minutes of December 17th, 2012. You see that?
I didn't
Yes or no?
I didn't ask for the minutes of I did not ask for the minutes of December the 17th.
What you asked for, sir, are the documents that were provided to the Board of Education in connection with the revised agenda.
For January 23rd.
Exactly. So, bear with me and let me just take you through this. Item number 1 says consent agenda, right?
Yeah.
Item number 1,
Okay.
January 23rd.
I'm with you. I'm here for you. Go ahead.
The first bullet point says minutes of December 17, 2012.
That's true.
All right, turn the
Next
page.
one.
Turn
What's the
page.
next one
Turn the
say?
page. Turn the page.
Okay.
Those are minutes of the Board of Education from December 17, 2012, right?
Right, but it's not what I asked for.
The next item,
January 8th.
and if you turn 2 pages back.
I didn't ask for January 8th, but you made me pay for it. Next page is what?
I think the point he's making is you asked for copies of all supporting documents, and those could be considered supporting documents.
They
No,
are the supporting
no.
documents.
Not, he understands how a consent agenda works in public schools. I've been a school administrator, and if there's one thing I know, is how we post consent agendas. And I'm looking for the
Thank you.
support.
So, Mr. Halbig, what is it that you actually thought you were going to get when you asked for these documents?
What I was looking forward for January 23rd on the consent agenda, when the board approved that consent agenda 5-0, you should have seen field trips for 26 children going to the Super Bowl in New Orleans, which is an out-of-state field trip, which has to be approved by the principal, the superintendent, and the school board. Nowhere on any of those documents have I reviewed, can you find that field trip signed and approved? That's what I'm looking for. And it should be on the consent agenda, and the reason I say that, sir, is because if you look at the document that he just provided to me, you can actually see a field trip being approved on the consent agenda. Field trips are approved on consent agendas. You just cannot find the one that I'm looking for, and that's why I picked January the 23rd, because that's the last possible date for a field trip to be approved going to the Super Bowl out of state.
Anything further?
No. Thank you.
Another witness call?
I'd like to examine Mr. Halbig
Of course.
on one last point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Halbig, I'm directing you to the document that purports to be part of the board school rules. Where did you find this?
Well, first thing I looked up is the school board policy, which I guess the town oversees. It's School Board Policy 8-407, which is a board policy, and it requires
Question was, where do you find them? I think that's been answered.
school board policy.
And what does that policy say?
The policy says, and it describes that any performance by a musical group has to follow these procedures in order to be authorized on the field trip.
And what is that procedure?
The procedure is it has to be approved by the school principal. And first of all, whose idea is it? The next step is the principal has to recommend that these 26 children from Sandy Hook are allowed to, remember, it's the Sandy Hook Elementary School choir, that they're allowed to travel on this field trip to New Orleans to participate in the NFL Super Bowl singing pregame. The principal submits the field trip form to the superintendent. The superintendent has to approve it and send it to the school board to be placed on the agenda, consent agenda, for them to approve it, authorizing them to leave out of state to perform.
I'm going to object to that testimony that characterizing a document is not in evidence, and I would offer.
Can you read it? Would you read it for the record?
No,
I mean,
hang on. Well,
Would you
first
like
of
to
all,
put this into the
I
record?
would like to put this into the record, Commissioner.
And this is a copy of a policy,
This
town
is,
policy?
this is, and if Your Honor wants to hold it until we get Mr.
No,
Fiala.
no,
I object to it for two reasons. One is it's impossible for me to authenticate this document. Secondly, it's clearly not authentic because it refers to a date when it was adopted, and there's a picture underneath of the Sandy Hook Elementary School chorus at the Super Bowl, which we all know took place sometime in 2013.
So you don't have a
just
copy
cut
of
the
the
picture,
policy?
just cut the, that's the policy, just cut the picture off.
We'll just fold this so pictures and show.
How about, for sake of, we'll allow for ID purposes for the testimony?
That's fine. I also question the relevance of it.
Well, we'll see where they go.
So it's just this page right here?
Please.
All right, we're gonna mark this as complaint, it's exhibit. This is for 461, so that'll be B for ID.
Just fold it.
Yes. ID purposes, complainants. B? B.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
have a fee already.
Yeah, if we do this a little kind of,
Okay,
for
okay,
823, then A
Okay.
and B, for 461, we now
Okay.
have A and B.
okay.
Can you see?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for Mr. Halbig.
Okay.
So this document's not just for ID?
Yes?
Just for ID for the time being.
But they haven't asked any questions, so we'll hold off for that. You'll follow up with this later?
Yes,
Okay. You have another witness to call?
yes. Newtown Police Chief Kehoe, who's under subpoena.
He's present.
The police chief here?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we, Sheriff, come up?
One right here?
Sure. I don't know what that is.
It's a subpoena.
I don't need that.
Okay.
Attorney Wilson, do you want to speak to your... Attorney Wilson?
Yes.
This is going to be a podcast.
Chief, will you get sworn in? Yes. Do you solemnly and sincerely affirm and declare that the evidence you shall give at the case on question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth upon the pain of penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay. Chief, give your name for the record.
Michael Kehoe, I'll spell the last name, Kehoe.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Chief Kehoe. My name is Attorney Kay Wilson. I represent Mr. Halbig. I just have a few questions for you. Did you state your name and title for the record already? I was looking at some documents. So your title is Chief of Police for the town of Newtown?
Yes,
Okay. How long have you been the police chief for the city of Newtown?
since 2001.
Okay. And did you take an oath when taking that job?
Yes.
Okay. Can you remind us of what that oath said?
We follow the laws of the state of Connecticut, the Constitution of the United States of America.
Okay. Has anybody asked you not to discuss the incident of December 14, 2012?
Can you repeat the question?
Has anybody asked you not to discuss the incident of December 14, 2012?
No.
Okay. And so, what is a detailed call for service report?
Not certain of the question.
I'm asking you what a detailed call for service report is. I'm going to show you a document, and let me hand it first to your counsel and give a copy to you. There's 2 copies, sir. And Mr. Halbig.
Thank you.
So you see the document that I've referred to, which has as a title, Detailed Call for Service Report. Chief Kehoe?
Yes.
Okay. So, have you ever seen a document like this before?
Yes.
Is this an official police record?
Yes.
And what does it purport to describe or to report?
It's a call for service report from 12 Dickinson Drive, Newtown, Connecticut. Dispatch time is 12/14/2012 at 093655. And among other information on this document.
I read that as 9:35, but you, where do you see that, sir? 093655?
He's looking up here. You want to look here.
That's Did you have answer the question, sir?
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
The question was, what is the timestamp for this, or the time for the call that came in?
The dispatch time is 12/14/2012 at 093655.
Where do you see that on the document?
Below the call for service number line,
Oh, I see, right here. Very good. Okay, and when did that call come in?
call came at 12/14/2012 at 9:35:43.
Okay, and what was the call type?
Unwanted person?
And what does that mean, sir?
Objection relevant.
Commissioner, I would submit that we're trying to figure out if this is an authentic document, if it purports to be what it actually is, if it's it's a relevant question because we're not sure that we've really gotten the documents that we've requested.
Okay, I'll have a question.
Good job.
So the claim is you're questioning the authenticity of the document that was provided?
Well, it purports to be a detailed call for service report for December 14, 2012, and the town of Newtown, and it says 911 caller, 12 Dickinson Drive, and Chief Kehoe has indicated that the call type was unwanted person. So I asked him, what does that mean?
Okay.
It's a generic term that we use from our CAD RMS system, which is a computer-aided dispatch records management system, indicating that this person has not been invited to this particular location.
Okay, thank you. Is there, Your Honor, I'd like to put this into the record.
Any objection?
Well, I understand what they're...
Does that,
what it is.
has that clarified whether it's an authentic document or not?
Well, I'm not sure. I need further testimony.
So the claim, so...
He's testified that this is
a
official document.
That was provided in response to your request.
The call,
Right.
the call, medium call.
Yes, but they're trying to figure out whether we should let it out or not. The question is...
It's not a true document.
All right, so may I further voir dire the witness, Your Honor, as to this document?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm directing your attention to this 911 caller from 12 Dickinson Drive. What was the priority of this particular call?
This particular document says it's a medium priority.
Wasn't the first call shots fired at the school? You have to say that.
Chief Kehoe, to your best understanding of this series of events and the calls that came into your station, isn't it true that the first caller on this day regarding the 12 Dickinson Drive incident at Sandy Hook in the town of Newtown was that there was a report of shots fired.
Objection.
Let's stick to the relevancy of the document at hand.
Well, it goes to the
You're-
issue of
you're
whether
going
this
be-
has been doctored
Well, you're
and whether
asking-
it's
I think the
the
question
document that we requested.
You brought in, you're asking questions whether this is a relevant document. Now you're saying that there's a change to the document.
We don't know.
Well, I'm not, and let's stay focused on the request for the document.
It's not a true document because
I
it's,
think the hearing officer is trying to suggest, how does your question get to that point?
I believe that a document which would have been the detailed call for service report
I'll communicate.
concerning this particular incident would have been a high priority call type involving shots fired. The document we have been given through our FOIA requests indicates that it was a medium priority and that it was for an unwanted person. It calls into question whether or not we have in fact received the documents that we duly requested through the FOIA request process, which is upon appeal in this, and they're directly at issue in this hearing.
I think we're starting to get to the real heart of this matter, which is that this isn't really about the documents. It's about a belief
all
that the
communication.
events on
I'm going to object to
12/14
that testimony by Attorney Frank. This is about the FOIA requests.
All
The
communications.
motivations behind Mr. Halbig is that he is a concerned citizen, and a brave one at that, and that he is, he has, like any citizen of this country, has an opportunity through the Connecticut FOIA laws to request public, non-privileged, non-exempt documents.
And they've been provided.
We don't know that.
You have the document, you just don't believe it.
If you want to continue with
It's,
the document.
it's
there's a-
at odds with the facts as we know them. I'd still like to put this in for the Commissioner's
The fact that we know
consideration.
is that 26 people were killed on 12/14.
Objection to the
Let's-
testimony
you're-
of counsel.
You're giving testimony now, and you're
Yeah.
They go
not
to
sworn
the
in to
next
do so.
document.
Hang on,
You're-
I'm going to get
Yeah,
this
I got
sorted.
you.
I think that the question was whether you want this put into the record as
Do you have an
an
objection?
exhibit showing that.
I do not have an objection if it's being offered as a document that was produced in the response to FOIA.
For purposes, we're going to put this in, it's being stipulated that this is a document that you have received as a response to the FOI request.
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you. Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, we don't have
My
a copy,
pen.
we don't have a copy just yet.
Oh, you do not. My
That's
apologies.
okay.
It's, and this is for,
He's got me.
This is a
you got?
response- This is, yeah,
We're still on 461?
I didn't quite hear you.
Here.
this
Say
is
again.
461. This is the,
4, 6, yes, this would be,
In response to
yes, this is relevant to FIC 2014 461, Attorney Brown. Thank you, yes. And Your Honor, I mean, Attorney Brown, you marked this as which exhibit?
This is C.
C?
Yes.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to hand you another document for two copies for you and your counsel, Chief Kehoe.
That's where you want to be. I know. It's old.
Okay. So, just as preliminary what do you regarding this document, Chief Kehoe, it purports to be a daily incident log. Do you recognize it as such?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is this an official record of the Newtown Police Department?
Yes.
Okay. And I direct your attention, sir, to page 3 of this document, which has been marked as Complainant's Exhibit C. Are you looking at page 3?
Yes,
Looks like it's for, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but this is for December 14, 2012 at 9:35? At the top of the page?
yes.
Okay. What is the incident type there?
Unwanted person,
And the location or venue?
12 Dickinson Drive?
Okay, and you understood that to be the Sandy Hook Elementary School?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there seems to be a list of units. I'm counting 1, 2. Looks like there were 22 units that are identified. Were those all Newtown units? Newtown Police Department units?
Again, I would object, and I'm going to ask what this has to do with the subject of this appeal.
Communication.
Okay.
Well,
Can you answer the
The question,
what's the relevance?
yes, sir. Your Honor, we have requested, under FIC 14461, our Exhibit CA is the FOIA request dated April 25th, 2014, in which we asked the police department for call log sheets, particularly under subparagraph 3 of that FOIA request. Subparagraph 3B, we asked for copies of all communications for December 14, 2012, from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. between the Newtown Police Department and the Connecticut State Police Trooper 1 helicopter. Mr. Halbig testified we did not receive that.
Okay.
My inquiry is whether or not there is indicia in here of communications so that if they exist, then the next question would be, why do we not get them?
Okay,
So
now-
my question,
Now, is the
my-
document that you're looking at now, is that the call log? Or is
yes, it is.
Okay. So that's the
It's
sub.
the incident.
Daily incident log. Well,
I'll
so,
allow the
may,
question. just
For that limited purpose.
For the purpose of
I withdraw
discussing
my
the,
objection to that limited
this
purpose.
Trooper 1 helicopter.
So just so I'm clear on the question. The question was, were all those units Newtown police units?
yes, sir, that was the question.
Yes.
For unwanted person.
Okay,
They're all
thank you, if I
responding.
just have a half a moment. Okay, he said they're all units. I think my next question. Acknowledgements here in the communication with Trooper Helicopter 1.
We don't see anything.
So, Chief Kehoe, to your understanding or your remembrance of December 14, 2012, do you know whether or not there was any communication between the Newtown Police Department and Connecticut State Police Trooper 1 helicopter?
Objection. This is under FOIA, they're entitled to documents. So whether there are communications or not is irrelevant. The question is whether there are any documents regarding communication.
Okay.
May I?
Can you rephrase the question regarding how this? Yeah, you can rephrase it if there were any documents regarding the communications in writing between the Newtown Police Department and the Trooper 1 helicopter.
Thank you, Commissioner, I will. Chief Kehoe, do you know whether or not there are any transcripts of communications for December 14, 2012 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. between the Newtown Police Department and the Connecticut State Police Trooper 1 helicopter?
To the best of my knowledge, there are no communications.
No communications?
That's correct.
There were no communications between the Newtown Police Department and the Trooper 1 helicopter for the state police that
That's
day?
an answer.
Her question was transcripts of communications, so do you mean to say, to your knowledge, there's no transcripts of communication?
Well,
I think that was your question.
that was my question, but I think his testimony is what it is. I guess I respectfully take issue with Your Honor asking him if he means to say,
No,
all
Trying
due
to
respect,
clarify.
sir, understood.
To clarify your answer, it wasn't quite on point. So it could lead one to think one thing, and you may have meant something else.
Are you aware of any transcript?
Objection to counsel redirecting my testimony, my question. I appreciate that, Attorney Frank, I'm all set. So, Chief Kehoe, do you know whether or not there's any audio of communications between your department and the Trooper 1 helicopter for the state police on that day?
There is no audio, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. If I may just have a second, Your Honor. For the purposes of moving forward, I'll suspend that line of inquiry just for a moment and ask Chief Kehoe. Chief Kehoe, were there any, are you aware that Mr. Halbig was at the Newtown Police Department yesterday reviewing purported dash cam videos from Lieutenant
Cinco and
Lieutenant
Seabrook.
Cinco and Seabrook?
Yes.
Okay. Now, sir, you know, I'm just remind you you're under oath, but I'd like to ask you whether or not you know whether or not those dash cam recordings contain a date, signature, and a time stamp, as well as a listing of the police car or unit and the officer?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Do the dash cam videos typically contain a date stamp, a time, a unit, or an officer's name in the video?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us why there was no date stamp or time on the video shown to Mr. Halbig yesterday by your executive secretary?
What you reviewed yesterday was a copy. The best we could do to copy our in-car camera system to a medium that could be viewed by you, and that was our best attempt to copy it.
Well, so if the originals had date and time stamps on them, how did those date and time stamps fall off of the copies which were given to us for viewing yesterday?
I'm not sure they did.
Did you review the...
They're embedded in that copy of the video reviewed yesterday.
And how do you know that?
Because I viewed them.
And did you actually see them appear on the screen,
Yes.
superimposed on the video?
Yes.
Okay, so you did review them prior to allowing us to view them yesterday?
Yes.
And it's your testimony that there were date and time stamps on them at the time that you reviewed them?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to revert back to the prior question where I was asking you whether or not there had been any communication between the Newtown Police Department and the State Trooper Flight 1 I'm going to hand you a copy of, 2 copies of one document. So, I see that you and your attorney have had an opportunity to review this. Do you understand what this document is? Do you recognize it?
I'm only reading it. It's a Trooper 1 flight log on December 14, 2012.
And can you read the description?
Objection. Document's not in evidence,
It will be.
Would you like to
not based on this testimony.
Well,
put-
let's,
put into evidence?
I'm requesting that it be put into evidence at this time.
And what's the relevance of this?
Communication.
It's a communication. It purports to evidence a communication between the Newtown Police Department and the Trooper 1 flight log.
This witness cannot authenticate a Trooper 1 flight log from state police.
So you don't
Do
believe
you-
that this
do you
is what it
recognize this
is?
document?
No.
Is this a Newtown document?
No, it's not.
Okay. So your testimony...
So I'm gonna uphold the objection.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. So your testimony, Chief Kehoe, is that there was no communication between the Trooper 1 flight and between the Newtown Police Department and the Connecticut State Police Trooper 1 helicopter that day?
That's correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh, you gotta go back to that 95.
Just to let the parties know, it's been over an hour and a half.
Okay.
So if you wanna, I don't know if you have an
I
operator
got
call,
one,
but,
yeah.
I want to call...
One more, Gino failure.
but if we don't get this finished, we'll probably have to continue to another, the hearing to another date. So I don't know if we want to try and get it all done
Gino
today.
failure.
Hold on, just hold on a second. If I may, just for a second. I think we can let Kehoe go and Sean fail.
Failure, yeah.
Okay, I have no further questions for Chief Kehoe.
No question.
So just so you know, before you call more witnesses, I know that
Just one more, we'll just do one more.
burden is on the respondents to explain their reason for either not providing or not providing the documents. So I don't know if you want to let them put on their case or if you want to continue with your case.
I do want to call Gino Fiella. He has been subpoenaed, and he is a witness that we would like to examine. Gino Fiella is the Director of School Facilities for the Newtown Board of Education.
Okay. Just for anybody in the audience, I know that anybody that might be parked in the street, I know we've been here over an hour and a half, so some of you may need to worry about the meters because they will tow cars if they're left on the street.
Can we take a 5-minute break?
Yes, we can. Okay, why don't we take a 5-minute recess? Anybody can get to their cars.
Thank you.
Feed the meters.
Need a motion to stand while you were gone.
All right, we're back on the record. Attorney Wilson, you got another witness to call?
Yes, Your Honor, I was going to call Mr. Fiella.
Is there Ms. Feynman? All right, do you take the oath? Do you solemnly and sincerely affirm that the evidence you shall give in the case and all questions shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, upon the pain and penalty of perjury? Okay. And your name, sir?
Gino Fiella, G-I-N-O, last name Fiella, F-A-I-E-L-L-A.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon, Mr. Fiella.
Hello.
I understand you're the Director of School Facilities for the Newtown Board of Education?
Correct.
That's correct?
Yes.
Yes, speak verbally, please. Okay, so, Mr. Fiella, how long have you held that position as Director of School Facilities for the Newtown Board of Ed?
Since 2007.
Okay, and what are your duties? Can you explain your specific job responsibilities?
Yes, I oversee the custodial and maintenance staff for all the schools.
Okay, And has anybody ever asked you to sign an agreement not to discuss the condition of the Sandy Hook Elementary School prior to the date of 12/14/2012?
Objection relevance.
I'm gonna allow.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Has anybody ever asked you to sign an agreement or verbally told you not to discuss the conditions of the Sandy Hook School prior to December 12th, 2012?
No.
Okay. So, if the school were to install a new security system, would you know about that?
Yeah.
You don't look to your attorney, just answer the question,
You
sir.
can look to me if you want to.
No, not for an answer.
I'm not hearing the answer. Yes, I would know about it.
Was there a new security system installed prior to December 14, 2012?
No, there was not.
When was the last security system installed at Sandy Hook Elementary School prior to December 14, 2012?
I believe it was installed sometime in 2007, if I'm not mistaken.
2007?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you have any idea why the media indicated that Principal Don Huxbrom had recently installed a new security system?
Objection, do not answer.
Did you just say you're talking about the media, asking about the media
Yeah,
reports?
I did ask about
How
the
do we
widespread
know
media
what the
accounts.
media thinks?
Yeah, this
How they get
this
the
is,
information?
once again, we're going down the path of.
Okay.
So we're gonna uphold the objection.
Okay. Mr. Paella, do you ever interact with any work orders that are produced in conjunction with maintenance or repair of the schools in the Newtown School District?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And were you involved in, or let me strike that. For these work orders, is there a process by which they are created?
Yes, there is.
And who would be the initiator of such a work order?
Several people.
And who are they?
That would be my administrative assistant, the maintenance staff, and head custodians at the schools. Have
Okay.
the ability to generate a report.
Not the principal or the assistant.
Would the principal or the assistant principal be able to generate a work order?
Not in the computer system, no. It's a computer-based system.
Would those work orders, when they're completed, would they be signed by anyone?
No, they would not.
Could they send an email to you?
Did you ever receive any emails from Principal Hochsprung regarding needed repairs during 2012 at the Sandy Hook Elementary School?
He's looking at his
With
attorney.
respect to that, there's a pending objection which has never been addressed in connection with emails that were requested. The way that I understand, and which the case law that FOIA is supposed to work, is that when there's an objection raised, particularly as to vagueness, it is like an interactive process between the attorneys in order to try to determine exactly what they're looking for. Based on the request that was made, we could not determine what they were looking for, and there was never, ever an interactive process. It was never clarified what they were looking for, and instead they just took the appeal. So I would object to the line of questioning concerning the emails between
Public record.
the principal and Mr. Fael.
Public
I'd
record.
also note that that request, as part of the problem, was addressed, said, assistant principal and Don Hochstrom and the maintenance department, as opposed to Mr. Fael individually. One of the many problems with that request.
Okay. Overrule the the objection, if you can continue. Or can you ask the question again?
Are you aware of any emails that may have come from school principal Dawn Hochsprung or her assistant school principal for the period of May 1st, 2012 through December 13th, 2012 to the facilities department?
Yes.
And have you reviewed those emails?
I don't quite understand the question.
Have you looked at them? Have you read them?
Of course.
Okay, so they exist.
I'm not sure.
Well, Attorney
I
Frank
would-
can't help you with that.
I
If
would
you
think-
received them and you read them, then they must
I would think
exist.
that they must exist, yes.
Okay, that's, okay. It's really difficult. All right, I'm going to show you what has been marked as Complainant's Exhibit B. It is a stack of work orders, starting with the first page, Work Order ID 2698. And this is our copy, so sir, I will need you to hand it back to me when you're done looking at it. So, does that document look familiar to you at all in terms of shape and format?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any reason to doubt that those are authentic copies of documents that were produced by, produced in response to our FOIA request?
No, I do not.
Okay, so in other words, you think that those are copies?
These are printed directly out of our database.
Okay. Now, I noticed that at the bottom of Complainant's Exhibit B, there's a place for two different signatures. One is the technician, and one is for someone to confirm that the work has actually been completed. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So, it looks to me like, is it true then that the protocol, according to this form and its format, is for these work orders to have the technician sign off on them and the corroborating official to sign off on them when the work order is complete?
Yes. The way we do it is the technician completes the work order, initials it, hands it to my administrative assistant, and it gets logged in the database. We do not keep the original copies. We have no reason to keep all the paper. So it goes into a database.
So it's initialed only by the technician?
Mhm.
There's no corroborating signature to make sure that the work order actually was in fact completed?
We have weekly meetings. We verify that the work orders verbally are being completed in a timely fashion.
With whom?
And with whom are those meetings?
With my maintenance staff.
And what are the titles of your maintenance staff?
Yes. I have a licensed electrician, one licensed HVAC technician, one licensed plumber, and a general purpose carpenter.
How about
and
at the
apprentice
school? Who
electrician.
verifies it at the school?
Who at the school, if anyone, would verify that these work orders were actually completed?
They're verified. The work orders are built or inputted from the custodians, typically the head custodian, or sometimes the maintenance folks themselves. So they would verify that the work was actually done.
So would that be Mr. Anzalotti?
That's correct.
Don Hochsprung.
Okay. Now, are you aware that of any school or Board of Education policy that requires yearly inspections of the school premises within your district every year by August 1st?
I'm actually not aware of that policy.
Well, are you aware that any inspections were conducted in 2012?
Inspections are done every year before the start of school.
So you're not aware of the policy, but you're aware that the inspections occur?
That's correct. A lot of them are state mandated.
Okay. And what is the purpose of those inspections that occur at the school on a yearly basis?
They're basic safety inspections, fire extinguishers, the PA systems, time clocks, fire pumps, fire systems, fire panels, etc.
Is there any inspection regarding cleanliness of the school?
That's conducted by myself.
And did you conduct such an inspection in 2012, by August 1st of 2012?
Yes.
And did you conduct such an inspection of the Sandy Hook Elementary School?
Yes.
And what were your findings?
Objection.
What does this have to do with documents?
Well, because, well, we have never received those inspection reports, although they are the subject of this appeal. Direct Your Honor's attention,
Maybe you can help me out.
okay? If I may direct Your Honor's attention to FIC 14-461, which has been marked as Complainant's Exhibit A. There is a FOIA request dated April 25th, 2014, directed to the First Selectman. I believe it's also directed to the school board chair and to, well, those are the two relevant ones. In that letter dated April 25th, 2014, which constitutes the FOIA request made by former Attorney Spinella, or the former counsel, Attorney Spinella, for Mr. Halbig. So paragraph 5 requests Newtown Sandy Hook Elementary School hazardous substance reports, copies of triannual asbestos inspection reports, copies of any reports showing lead paint. It also requests
PCP.
And they have responded to those.
we did not receive those reports.
You can ask,
We received a pre-demolition study.
ask the witness.
I am trying to ask the witness. You raised an objection. I'm answering it. The objection was to the line of inquiry.
You were actually asking about a cleanliness report? That's not one of
It's
the
in
ones.
the-
Okay,
It's in a building inspection.
okay. Well, the witness testified that is for general maintenance issues, Mr. Fayella?
I don't understand the question.
All right, we'll start again. We'll start again. Ground one. What is the purpose of the annual inspections of the school premises in Newtown School District that you conduct?
Objection. Relevance to the pending FOIA request.
Upheld.
Okay. Do you know whether or not there were inspections, triannual asbestos inspections reports generated for inspections of Sandy Hook Elementary School for the years 2002 through 2012?
Yes.
Where are those reports?
They were provided.
They're not.
They were not provided.
If I may,
Yes, sir.
respond to Exhibit 4. And the witness can show you where those are, but towards the back.
No lead paint, no PCB. They're gonna say asbestos, but they've been giving the lead paint or PCB, which has a high level.
Yeah, okay.
They're playing more game.
The narrow issue is, did we get documents that we requested on the phone? All right, so, your position is that you have complied with that FOIA request?
You have complied, and you can verify that through the witness.
Okay. Mr. Fayella, were you involved in gathering those documents for Attorney Frank to produce?
The asbestos documents?
Asbestos, PCB,
Lead paint.
lead paint,
The asbestos documents were gathered by me for Attorney Frank, yes.
and I'm looking at a document that says 3-year reinspection of ACBM. Do you know what that is?
Asbestos containing materials?
Okay. And it's dated July 19th, 2011, is that correct?
Which document? They were reflected in the minute.
Okay. I'm looking at the one dated July 19th, 2011. It's about 4 or 5 pages from the back. I think it's the 5th page from the last.
Yep. Yes, I have it.
Okay. You conducted a search for documents and you produced that document to Attorney Frank?
Yes, I did.
Was that the last inspection?
At the time, I believe it was.
Okay. What about the lead paint inspections? Can you show me where in this document those inspection reports were produced?
But just to be clear, the request is for the lead paint that needs to be inside the school for the years 2002 to 2012. And the town responded and didn't have any.
All right, so let me direct the question to the witness. Mr. Fiella, do you know whether or not there were any inspections for lead paint and PCB inside the Sandy Hook Elementary School for the years 2002 through 2012?
Lead paint and PCB inspections are not required. They're required under construction conditions and demolition conditions.
So your testimony is that they're not required and therefore you don't have them? Is that it?
That's correct.
Okay. One, Your Honor. I don't know. Anything we ought to ask him.
I'd just go to the pictures.
Yeah, but
It goes to the work orders. Where's the work orders of those pictures?
Mr. Fiella, I'm referring now to Exhibit C-B, which is Complainant's Exhibit B, the work orders that we've been talking about. And I understand that that's just a percentage of the work orders which were produced yesterday. Where are those work orders kept?
They're kept in a database.
So you don't keep hard copies?
No, I do not.
Okay. And were you the person who gathered these work orders that are contained within Exhibit CB?
My administrative assistant did.
Under your direction?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you a photograph.
Taken by who, though? Make sure we...
If you take a look at that. Do you recognize what that photograph depicts?
Yes, I do.
And what does it depict?
Objection, relevant.
Work orders.
The relevance is that we do not believe we were given all of the work orders relevant to a functioning operational school during the year 2011 through 2012 and 2012 through 2013. These pictures indicate, which the witness will hopefully testify honestly to, quite a bit of damage, mold, rot, damage contained within the building, outside of the building, water stains from flooding, sidewalk repairs that are needed, and I want to know where the work orders were for the repairs of these items. We do not believe that we received everything, and then we believe that given the conditions as depicted by this series of photographs, Commissioner, there should have been work orders generated for the repair of the school. And if so, where are they?
I would object to this line of questioning.
I'm going to sustain the objection. You self-admitted that you only have a percentage here. We don't. It could be that you still have to. I mean, I don't know what.
Tell them we reviewed all of
We
them.
reviewed everything, Your Honor.
And it's not there. It's not there.
The question assumes that certain work orders are generated.
Doesn't assume anything. The question is merely to
I think
ask.
the objection is that we don't know anything, what these pictures are.
Well, the witness has indicated he recognizes what's depicted within the
He knows
picture.
what it is.
He knows what it is, Your Honor.
It doesn't mean that it's relevant.
the pictures, Your Honor,
What is this regarding?
they're
your
regarding the
records
FOIA
request?
request for
Work order.
work orders. We do not believe we've received or had the opportunity to review all of the work orders. That is why we appealed,
Okay, okay.
that's
I'm
the
gonna-
substance of our appeal, Your Honor.
I'm gonna overrule, you can ask the question.
Okay. So, Mr. Fiella, I think you testified that you conduct yearly inspections of all the schools in your district?
That's correct.
And up to December 12th or 14th of 2012, did that include the Sandy Hook Elementary School?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Now, you're looking at a picture, and I think you have indicated through your testimony that you recognize what this picture is.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
It's the front entrance of Sandy Hook School.
Okay. And have you ever seen what this depicts before? In other words, have you physically gone to the location and seen what this depicts?
I don't understand the question.
Well, you recognize it.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you recognize it?
May I?
Yes, please, Attorney Brown.
Do you know that that's the front of Sandy Hook School?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you know why those yellow tape was around those poles?
Yes, I did.
Why?
It was this picture was taken after the incident.
Okay, I guess that's a better question. Do you know, do you have any idea when, the time frame in which this depicts the condition of the school at that time that picture reflects? Like you said it was,
I'm not sure when this picture was taken.
but what does it, you said the tape represents that it was put on after the incident of 12/12.
Right.
So it was at least taken around about that time, or after?
Probably after, well, obviously after that time, yeah.
Okay, so what is it that you want to know about these pictures? You wanna
Well, I'd
know-
like to direct his attention to the underside of the overhang, which
mold that's
indicates
there.
The mold, the wood rot.
damage, wood rot.
There's no wood rot, there's no mold, it's water stain from previous leaks.
It's water stained from previous
Water.
leaks.
Were the work orders?
So was there a work order generated to correct this condition?
Between the period of July 1, 2012 and December 13, 2012, which is the relevant time period of your request.
All the work orders have been given for that time period.
Well, that doesn't answer my question, sir. My,
But it sounds like,
I'm-
if I can, you're asking a question about something that happened after the date of your request.
no, no.
Because this picture is from after the date of the...
It is. So maybe I can back up, Your Honor, and ask the witness another question as right here. Mr. Fiella, you recognize this as the exterior front of the Sandy Hook Elementary School. That's correct?
Yes.
And how, do you know when the water damage occurred at the Sandy Hook Elementary School that is depicted in this overhang, the underside of this overhang?
Specifically, no, I do not know.
Do you know?
I assume that it happened over time.
Well, you made inspections yearly, correct?
Mhm.
Did you notice this before the date of December 14th, 2012?
Yes, I have.
And did you create work orders to fix it?
No, I did not.
And why is that?
Objection.
That's not, we're done.
Sustained.
Okay. Well, so Your Honor is not, okay. So you didn't create a work order. All right. What about, well, let me ask you this, Mr. Fiella. Were you aware of a flooding of the Sandy Hook Elementary School at any time prior to December 14th, 2012?
Objection relevant.
So I'll go into a work order, so.
Goes to work order.
Let's hear it. Do you know
Pardon?
anything about it?
No, I do not.
So to your best recollection, Sandy Hook Elementary School did not experience any flooding prior to December 12th, or December 14th of 2012. Is that correct?
In the period of time that I've worked there, that is correct.
Okay. Well, if I showed you pictures depicting mold and water stains taken just after December 12th, or December 14th, 2012, would it surprise you?
Objection.
Does it matter whether it's surprising?
Ask him if you recognize the document.
Do you recognize the document? Do you recognize what that depicts?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And do you notice any staining on the wall?
Yes, I do.
And what is that from, Mr. Fiala, to your best experience and knowledge?
From my experience and knowledge, it's a form of algae, and we actually power washed it off the walls almost every other year.
That's more than a year.
Was that power washed within a year of December 14th, 2012?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you for sure when it was done, but like I said, it's been done approximately every other year.
We don't see the work order for that.
Would you have generated a work order for that?
No.
No work order for power washing?
Gotta have it.
Ask him answer.
So that's your testimony, correct?
It's his testimony.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Frank.
You're welcome.
Mr. Fiala, what would be the procedure for documenting, well, let me ask you this, would your maintenance department have done the power washing themselves?
Yes.
So no work order would have been generated for the power washing?
Ask him answer. Objection.
And why is that?
Objection.
So, okay.
I think it's a fair question to know, just for the record, what is the process and procedure for going about handling that kind of maintenance?
It's
with
filthy.
the school? That's all.
In this particular instance, the power wash is located at St. Louis School. Kevin Angelotti would have done this himself, thereby as general maintenance and cleaning of the building. It wouldn't have generated a special work order.
That's what you need on the record. There you go. Whether you believe it or not, that's his
No.
testimony.
Okay, no, I thank you for your assistance. All right, let me show you another photograph. Mr. Fiala.
This has to have a work order.
And do you recognize what this photograph depicts?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can you,
Ask him what it is.
and what is it?
It's a classroom door that's been boarded up.
And why is that?
You can answer. No.
I do. The front section of the school where the tragedy took place was boarded up so that we could have movers in the building moving the kids' belongings and the desks and all the belongings of the school to Chalk Hill School. And this was done by a separate contractor. None of my folks were in the building afterwards.
Was there any documentation for that move?
Objection. It's not within the period of
Work order.
Were there any work order generated for that move?
Standing
Upheld,
objection.
upheld,
I'm sorry, Commissioner?
upheld the objection. It's
Upheld,
after the date
okay,
of the
okay.
request.
Okay. Show you another photograph, Mr. Fiala. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Well, it says room 10. I can't verify the room number or what was written.
It's been taken by a major crime scene.
It looks like a corkboard in a classroom.
Okay. And if you had done an inspection and seen that corkboard, would you have made a request for a work order?
Objection. I think they've got to establish the relevant time period.
Major crime
When was this
scene.
picture taken?
December 14th or 15th of 2012. It's from the crime scene photographer.
No, I don't
But-
object.
but-
That's my question. The work order request is for
Yeah.
period before
So-
10/14.
Timeliness is after the
Okay.
request.
Okay.
I know.
What do you think we should do at this point?
We did that one up front, though. got that one. Show the one about the camera in the hallway. I haven't explained what that thing is in the hallway.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to do with the appeal. And we're gonna get bombed with an objection. That doesn't have to.
Let's just try it. There's one more to come on.
Is there anything else for this witness?
Just two more things.
Just 2 more photos, Your Honor. Mr. Fael, would you take a look at this? Do you recognize what it depicts?
Yes, it's the front entrance of St. Anne's School.
Where's the work order?
Okay, would there have been a work order generated for the cracked sidewalk and the damaged tiling there
Objection, time period, please.
in the year 2012?
I'll allow it if there was any work orders generated prior to the.
As I stated earlier, all the work orders for that period were given.
We didn't get it.
Okay.
Do the one about the door. The door is important. The rotten door. No, not that one. The other one. Yep. Two more pictures.
Mr. Fael, would you take a look at this picture?
And cost the damage.
Do you recognize what is contained within that picture?
It's classroom door.
You know what classroom it's for?
According to the photograph, it's room 6.
Okay. Do you see any water damage or indicia of water stains on the wall or the tile or the door?
No, I do not.
What do you make of this gray or this black mark along the door?
It's wax buildup on the tile. It's wax buildup from the floor from the buffing machines.
What about the
door-
black mark on the door?
The door probably got hit or banged with furniture moving in and out.
Would you have generated a work order to correct that during 2012 if you had seen that?
No, I would not. I would have told the custodian to clean it.
So you don't generate work orders for everything, just some things, is that correct?
We generate orders for most things.
For most things. How do you make the decision when to generate an order and when not to? Your attorney should
Yeah.
not be able to help you, sir.
We try. Okay, we try to capture as much work as possible, just to keep track of what's going on in the district as far as the work being generated and the amount of productivity. Do some things not get work orders? Yes.
And my question was, how do you make the decision of what does constitute or rise to the level of?
There's no decision tree to make. It's just something. We try to capture most things.
Okay.
This one has to have an ADA compliant handicap ramp. Why?
We have to focus on the appeal.
Okay.
That's not relevant to the appeal.
2 pictures ago, you
Go-
said you had 2
go-
more pictures.
Right,
We
one
did,
more, just
we
one
did,
more
Commissioner.
camera. Just go to the camera one. That's it, real quick.
No.
Yeah? Okay.
All right, Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, I know we came back about 40 minutes ago, and I did tell you about an hour ago that we would be
Yeah.
trying to wrap this up. No, I have not allowed the respondents a chance, but I think that there's, based on the amount of time that we've already taken, I don't think there's a way we can complete this hearing in one day. So I'm going to recommend that we, Okay, but before I do, I didn't know if there was any cross-examination of either
I just
witness
have-
that you have, and then I would like to try
I can either do it through cross or through a direct case, but my examination of this witness and the chief will be extremely good.
Okay, so we'd like to do that today, so they don't have to come back at a future date.
I would prefer that.
Okay. I
Are
would say,
those the only witnesses you have?
I will likely only have 3 witnesses, maybe 4, but they will all be 3. I would prefer to have the complainant complete their case before calling my witnesses.
You don't need to cross-examine them.
I do not.
Okay.
and you have more witnesses to call?
Yes, we would be calling,
So I don't think that we're, if they have multiple, at least.
We have a lot more
I don't
witnesses.
think that we're going to be able to do that today.
Understood.
I think that's,
Good job.
fair to give them the time to move the case along. You will be allowed to bring witnesses once we continue the hearing, but we're going to have to, I guess, continue. So I'd like to continue this hearing to another date. I think that, I think you can get together with counsel, I don't know if we can get through the clerk's office, we can try and come to a mutually agreeable time to work for both parties. But I know that we won't do that here. So I think that we'll just continue the hearing to a date that upon mutual convenience of all the parties.
I mean, Attorney Wilson only has one or two witnesses. But
We have three. We have the other one. Kathy Campos, Kevin Ancelotti.
I just think, Attorney Wilson, unless you think that, I know you're very thorough on that short change on time, but I really do know that I do not want to keep this going for an hour and a half.
Kevin Ancelotti.
Well, Your Honor, I'm in a little bit of a disadvantage since my subpoenas were ignored by certain witnesses. I'm going to have to try to remedy that. The only other witness that I would be able to call today, which is purportedly here, would be Dr. Joseph Arati. Dr. Joseph Arati is the... Arati. Thank you. Is the Newtown School Superintendent for the Newtown Board of Education. I guess Your Honor does or does not want to continue the hearing today?
No, I do want to continue. I just know that it doesn't seem that we're going to finish today because we haven't begun the respondents.
Fair enough, yes.
Because we want the other witnesses.
Well, I also need to find the remedy for compulsory process for the other witnesses to attend, so I do need time for that. So,
I just think it would be best for all parties that we continue it to the date that you can get the witnesses that you need, and then we can finish up with the respondents putting on their case.
very well.
Yeah, you can
Continue
post
it
the
now.
hearings and continue to another date and time which will be assigned by the clerk. I'll give you an opportunity to hear your issue with the subpoenas. That way we don't cut into, we can just start fresh with the remaining witness. And we don't have to
Please let mommy pay.
cut off in the middle of the testimony. The building closes at 5.
I understand, and I understand the Commissioner's concerns
And
about
I
the
think that
employees
when
here.
we do reschedule this, I think we would try and do like something at 9:30 and make sure that there's no time for, that way we can go beyond an hour and a half.
Okay.
So that we could try standards.
Yes, sir.
We have a 9:30 and then we usually have an 11.
Yes, sir.
We can book both times to give everybody their fair share of time.
Thank you, sir.
And also,
And let
just
mommy
think
Frank
about
pick the day.
understanding that,
Let respondents
keep putting track of money into the coin-operated parking meters.
Yes.
I know that they stopped. We should be able to park in our own parking lot sometime after 5, but I think that all parties should just will regroup and come back at a date certain once we set up with the clerk.
Thank you,
All right, so
Commissioner.
close this hearing until we
Thank you, Attorney
continue it at a later time. Thanks for coming.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's a Vanguard school.
Yep.
It's a Vanguard school, pristine and pretty, and look at that. Hey, they're proud of it too. Right, Chief? Very clean, proud school.
Yep.
I can't believe y'all do that.
I know, it's unbelievable.
I can't believe it. Filthy school, toxic waste, and you're proud of it. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
That was mold too. Okay, ready?
What a bunch of liars. Unwanted person. Yeah. Go ahead.
Medium, medium?
I like
Yep, just yeah. Use your judgment. Tell me when you're ready. It's just like white
Yeah.
Connecticut and with, Liverpool somewhere. Ready? Dan Badandi, Infowars.com. We're in Hartford, Connecticut with Wolfgang Halbig. How you doing, sir?
Good, thanks for coming all the way up here and taking a look at what's happening today.
Unbelievable.
It is, you know what, that is the classic work in Connecticut. It's unbelievable how they play with the law, they manipulate it, they play with it, and people laugh about it. These witnesses from Connecticut, they think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. That's a filthy, deplorable looking school. It's a toxic waste dump, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves.
I seen them all with smiles, all wasting time purposely, so, you know, get you out of here quick.
Oh, absolutely, they're dragging it, got the heat turned up in here, everything they can do to make it uncomfortable. But you know what? I've got a good attorney, I love Kay Wilson, she's not afraid to ask questions, and we'll be back. And they're gonna have to answer, especially the one about Connecticut State Trooper. Can you imagine, you got a state helicopter that doesn't have audio tapes or record? What kind of state troopers are these?
Yeah, I kind of found it hard to believe that the helicopter was not communicating with the officers on the ground. I mean, that was like, wow.
Well, you know what's really interesting? We actually have the flight log. Can you imagine the police chief says, oh, I don't know, I've never seen anything like that. That is the Connecticut State Police official flight log. And you know what it reads? To assist the Newtown Police Department in searching for suspects in the woods. Now, let me think how that works. How did the helicopter know they needed somebody? Somebody had to call them. And they lied like a dog. It's under oath. And they think they're going to get away with it? Absolutely. Not if I can help it.
Not if we can help it.
I'm going to tell you what, America needs to wake up. This hearing is a game changer for America, and they ought to see it for what it is. They're playing silly games. They got attorneys who are hiding behind the truth, manipulating data. And this is the one, did y'all hear today? The town. Well, you know what? They painted it with a broad brush. The town covers everybody. It covers the school board, covers the police department, and all they have to do is say, the town doesn't have it. And you're supposed to be happy about it. I want the answers from the school board. I want the answers from the police department. I don't give a damn about the town. But see, that's what they're doing. They're manipulating the law.
What about the dash cam? It didn't have a clock.
The dash cam videos? I actually got the video. I got the video of Seabrook's dash cam. It actually has timestamp. They've refused to give it to me. They have it, and yet they've refused. They altered. I think they tampered and altered the documents. That's a crime. Law enforcement can't do that.
And it's unbelievable, and again, they're wasting time, so they want to prolong this, is that correct?
Absolutely. Again, they're going to drag it out. They're going to find ways to manipulate it, you know, and I guess we just have to do a better job, you know. Kay does a great job. I tell you what, I bless God that I found her, you know, because she is not afraid to ask questions. And it's not for Wolfgang. I'm doing this for America. I'm doing this for every parent, every grandparent. You know, we should have rights to ask questions, but not just that. We ought to be able to get the truth. We ought to be able to walk into an office and say, I'd like to see these documents. What are they hiding? This is serious stuff. Serious. Because who else wants a Sandy Hook and Air community? Nobody.
No.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop here, and it's got to stop now.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you for your time, Wolf, and thank you from a patriot to a patriot for your great and hard work.
Thank you.
And folks, again, I mean, you ask the real questions, you get ignored completely. It's unreal, it really is. Truth is definitely stranger than fiction. And this is Dan Bedandi for Infowars.com.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wolf.
Hey, where you going?
Everybody else?
Leaving me?
God, never,
Don't leave me.
never.
Kay did a great job.
Good job, Kay.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. I don't think my other attorney would have done what she did today. I'm telling you, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Guys, I thank you for coming. I cannot tell you how much it means to us.